some extra long-lasting spearmint gum in. And let's see what people are talking about over here. First, unpopular opinion. There are too many people lying about not being breakfast people. Here's the thing, eating within the first hour of me being awake makes me want to hurl. But I force myself to eat breakfast because I feel disgusting in the morning without it, and frankly, I feel like I know so many people that need this. There has been one too many times where I met someone and went, I'm not a breakfast person. They went, I'm not a breakfast person. But then they're always cranky and irritable. They act like one coffee is enough for the morning, but you can 100% tell they're not all there. And I think even a piece of toast could benefit these people significantly. There are some people that truly don't eat breakfast and eat more later in the day, which I respect, but some of you are forcing the label of not being a breakfast person on yourselves for yourselves and eat. I actually agree with this unpopular opinion. I think people need to have a little something in the morning. I can tell when people are running on fumes. Also, y'all got keto breath. If you're not eating in the morning and you're getting up and people eat, brush your teeth, do what you gotta do, but brushing your teeth is not going to get rid of keto breath. You need to eat a little something. Somebody said, I think you're confusing not a breakfast person with not a morning person. The two are not mutually exclusive, and a person can just be cranky and irritable because they're awake in the morning. Yeah, but that could be due to being underfed. You're running on fumes, you know? And how long are you supposed to be cranky in the morning for? If your workplace starts at 9 a.m. and you're still cranky at 11:30, you woke up at 7, it's a long time to be cranky. Okay, here's somebody that articulated what I was trying to. Many people just say they aren't morning people without going any further to examine why that is. Of course, some people just genuinely aren't wired for morning, but others get poor quality sleep, drink too much, don't exercise, don't feed themselves, are addicted to caffeine. These people can be miserable in the morning, but they don't need to be. But saying you're not a morning person can be a blanket excuse for not examining lifestyle choices. Also, some people say they like sleeping in. Well, yeah, so does everyone. I'm not gonna say that I like sleeping in because I like to nap versus sleeping in. They're two different things, you know. I like sleep. I know that I am at my peak performance when I first get up in the morning. So I don't want to miss that time. If I know most of the time I have to use it for work. I have to use those superpowers for work. But occasionally I get to use them for other things. So I don't like to sleep in on the weekends. Okay. If career growth matters, 100% remote is a trap. Remote work is fantastic for life balance, but here's the harsh truth. If your goal is career growth, fully remote can actually hold you back. The people who can truly move your career, sponsors, mentors, decision makers, aren't part of your daily scheduled interactions. You don't bump into them on team calls, and a virtual lobby won't replicate hallway conversation. Real career-moving movements are unplanned, a quick chat by the coffee machine, overhearing a conversation that sparks an idea, or being in the right place at the right time. If you're fully remote, these moments never happen. You'll be productive, but you will also be invisible to the very people who could open doors for you. I don't know. I'm self-motivated, so I could work from home. But I'm also easily distracted, so could I? I don't know. Also, I do like to, mirror or body double, so I see other people doing it, and I'm like, okay, we can do this. Like, you go to the gym, you see other people working out, you're like, alright, I'm here, that's what we're here for, let's do it. Versus when I'm working out at home, and I'm like, okay, I did 10 of these, we're done. Alright, let's find it's like the exploitation that I'm okay with. If I really like an artist, I will buy a vinyl record and go to their shows. I grew up in the times of tapes and CDs. Spotify is something we never could have imagined would exist. One thing I can't support is Amazon's employee meat grinder work culture, and it is, and that's true. And I need to grow a pair, and give them a little less of my. It's just okay. Yep, everyone only has so much willpower. You have no idea what other social good someone does with their other decisions. So judging someone on a current decision you are morally at odds with isn't very productive. You need some sort of social good score that took all of modern life's ills, ranked them for time and effort to avoid, and spit out some arbitrary number. Not possible. Just know in yourself if you're thinking you're doing enough, and avoid the real egregious stuff. Right, so some people are gonna be like, I absolutely won't support Spotify. But they might have another one that they're like, oh, this isn't the greatest practice, but you know, it's a spectrum. And it's tough. Modern living, it has always been this way. Yeah, if anything, today the internet gives you more opportunities than ever. The problem is most people don't really utilize it. I had a coworker once who grew up in Siberia in a small coal mining town where generations before him did the same job. He taught himself coding and eventually moved abroad to work as a programmer. It's kind of a Cinderella story. But things like that wouldn't have been possible back then. Luck does play a big role, of course. You can be born in a rough place, but you've got more options today than people ever did before. Choice is a luxury only granted by your own fortune. Most of your fortune is pretty set in stone, but as the global fortune has risen, so too has our ability to make our own fortunes. It's never about what you can't do, it's always been about what you can do. If you can do good, do it. If you can't, you can't. Okay, here's a food one that I think I'm going to agree with. Thick fried chicken sandwiches look amazing until you actually try to eat one. I don't know when we decided thicker automatically meant better, but these fried chicken sandwiches are getting out of hand. Every place think Popeyes, okay? Every place thinks serving a giant hunk of dried chicken makes it fancy. It's like biting into a whole bird. Deep fried whole bird. The bun falls apart, the sauce explodes everywhere, and half the breading comes off on the first bite. Same thing happened with burgers. Remember when they all had to be thick and juicy? Now everyone's doing smash burgers because flavor actually matters more than size. Give it a year and everyone's going to be pretending we loved thin, crispy chicken the whole time. Smashed chicken sandwiches are next. How could you do a smashed chicken? Like, you'd have to get ground chicken. I do love me a smash burger, and I've never liked a thick burger. No. I like more char than burger. Okay. Oh, this is definitely an unpopular opinion. Because no, half stuffed Oreos would be so much better. So, regular, double stuff. I think they even made it triple stuff one time. But this guy or gal thinks that half stuffed Oreos would be so much better. I think the ratio of cream to cookie in a normal Oreo is excessive. Eating the normal cookies are delicious, of course, but way too much cream. It takes ages to go through a pack of them. Oh, no, it does not. I can tear through a sleeve like in a sitting. I don't do that anymore, but I can, and I could. I still could. I still got it in me. Double stuffed Oreos are a lot. I can't believe they exist. Look, I can eat a couple of them before tapping out, but it's just imbalanced. The cream just overpowers the cookie completely, and you might as well dip the cookies in a cream dip or something. If there was a half the amount of cream in a normal Oreo cookie, it would be perfect. You may say, what about the thins? No, that's not enough cookie. When you dip the thins in milk, they have a structural integrity of sand. That's hyperbolic maybe, but thins do not fulfill my cookie needs. I like the amount of cream though. So the first comment, well, this is a verb. Exceptions are obvious trolling questions, non-stop repeated questions with no social value, but generally these are more infrequent exceptions and get treated as a rule. Not where I work. And then somebody says this is totally dependent on what the question was. There is also an element of teach a man to fish too. If someone is in the habit of using online tools to educate themselves, they are a massive disadvantage in life. Helping them develop that skill in a habit and supportive way could be a huge help to them. I agree, except when someone is trapping you with endless questions and doesn't even seem to listen to you, then yeah, Google that yourself and should have. I just had this, my daughter was like talking about her allergies and she needs to go to the doctor. But I was like, you can't just rely on a Benadryl once in a while, you need to be on a daily antihistamine. I'm like getting out the door to go to work and she's like, I don't even know what that is, because she's, a teenager. Okay, let me put down my work bags and give you a PowerPoint. Like, no. Look it up and order some. You work full time. Look up daily antihistamine. Get some. Go to the store, get some. That's what I'm talking about. You can do this. I will say I disagree, not because I think you are absolutely wrong, but because it really depends on the situation. If you are talking about being so new to something you don't have enough of a frame to reference or even vocalize a coherent question that a search engine can understand, then sure, a little help from real people is great. However, if you are trying to get out of reading for 20 minutes and want your hand held, then it is completely alright to expect the person to do the work themselves. This post is just a waste of everybody's time. So for me, the line gets drawn when the answer to the question is genuinely one line that you can do by Googling. I mean, really aren't a lot of posts just wastes of time. We do waste a lot of time, but what else are we going to do? Waste it doing something else. You know what else is a-hole behavior? Not even making an attempt to teach yourself before asking someone what you could have looked up. 100% agreed. My coworker refuses to put any amount of effort in to find information. She answered a phone call, took a message, and sent it to me to call the client back. The question: doctor told them to buy this product and they want to know where it is made. Because they don't want to buy something from China